Hi, everybody. Welcome to this session. We've been getting quite a few requests that, Nmat is around the corner, the first exam of the season. Can we actually kickstart and go ahead and have a, 7 days to Nmat kind of a session or a 10 days to Nmat kind of a session? So we're here today. I'll wait for a couple of you all to respond that everything is okay from an operational perspective in terms of look, feel, audio, video, sab theek hai, so that we can officially go ahead and kickstart today's session. Won't be a longest session. We'll spend roughly around 45 minutes to an hour to understand a little bit more about this particular exam, the modalities of it with respect to what is it that you need to do from an operational perspective, how is it different from a UI UX perspective, how is it different as an exam from an academic perspective, what are the different kinds of questions that can come up, how should you be approaching this particular paper, and multiple such things. So there's a lot more coming your way. Thanks for that, Shubhangi. Thanks for confirming that I'm audible and visible. So we'll go ahead and officially go ahead and kickstart today's session. Uh, 2 to 3 things which I want you all to focus on, as a part of this session, and I'm going to pick that up right away here. Basically, I'm going to talk a little bit about the checklist in terms of what is it that you all should be carrying with you all, because the exam is about 7 days away. I'm sure some of you all are writing it within the first week or so. So this is the time to get your documents in place. Second, the pattern and UI, very different from CAT, very different from any other exam actually. When it comes to both pattern and UI, what are the elements that you need to keep in mind? How is it that you can go ahead and practice all of that through the mocks to ensure that you don't face certain issues on the exam day? The NMAT 2024 section wise analysis, what did the paper throw up last year? What, and similarly, what can you expect basis that this year? The cutoffs over the years. Last year कुछ different हुआ था. NMAT introduced another part in their stage 2 process called the competency test, because of which the cutoffs fell. Will it happen this year? Won't happen. We've got no idea. So we need to keep in mind what the cutoffs have been over the last 3 to 4 years, and maybe go ahead and ensure that we clear any of those plausible cutoffs. We'll talk about that. Certain memory based questions over the years. So not exact questions, but the type of questions that have come. Hopefully that will help you understand what is it that you need to do. Important do's and don'ts, certain important tips to keep in mind, and finally the Q&A part. So that's basically what it is that we're going to go ahead and cover in today's session. I hope everybody has clarity in terms of what is in store for you. Let's officially go ahead and kickstart and get into the deeper end of the pool. Okay, so this is basically what your exam timetable looks like. If I look at where you are as of today, you are sitting on what, the 29th of October. You have all of this coming. Say if I put it up till here, Zat and MyCat agar main dal do, you have a lot of work happening in November and December. Basically 2 months and maybe about 5 days there. So the next, I would say 65 to 70 days are going to be career defining. Everything that is going to happen, good or bad, is going to happen during these days. So the next 65 to 70 days, most of you will be writing CAT, ZAT, NMAT, SNAP. Few of you might even be writing MyCat. And then, CMAT might happen for those of you who are writing CMAT towards the latter half of January. So you're almost certainly writing at least 3 of them, if not 4 of them. So you've got heavyweight traffic coming your way. Usme, sometimes what happens is we focus too much on the CAT exam and we realize, अरे यार अब स्नैप जो है फर्स्ट वाला 6 दिन बाद ही है, कुछ किया ही नहीं उसके लिए. एनमैट जो है वो स्नैप एंड एनमैट के बीच में कुछ ज्यादा किया ही नहीं उसके लिए. स्नैप एंड एनमैट खत्म होता है, उसके बाद सडनली यू गॉट ओनली 15 days एंड ज़ैट है, उसमें एक फुल सेक्शन है कॉल्ड डिसीजन मेकिंग, कुछ किया ही नहीं उसके लिए. दैट इज व्हाई देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ वर्क दैट यू आल्सो नीड टू डू इन द मंथ ऑफ November to ensure that you're not caught napping in December with respect to these exams. Hence this timetable is something that you need to keep in mind, because it is always going to be a ready reckoner and a check for you कि I am not getting overtly obsessed with one particular exam. Obviously, CAT is the most important exam, but you don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you do, you might be in for a shock and you don't want that to happen. Now, before I get into the NMAT part of it, because हमने CAT के बारे में बात कर लिया and we spoke about the fact that it's probably the most important exam, I hope you all have all gone ahead and registered for this. If you're a CL student, classroom, online classes, offline classes, night classes, whatever, this is free for you. Just scan this and register. If you're a test series student, it's a nominal price. If you're a VARC, DILR, QA 1000 student, it's a nominal price. If you're a non-CL student, it's a nominal price. Basic funda is 2 weeks before CAT, in actual centers, many of which might end up being actual CAT centers, you will be writing your final mock offline in an actual center in the same time slot as your CAT exam, carrying that admit card, reaching the center 1.5 hours in advance, sitting in front of the machine 45 minutes to 1 hour before the paper, getting stressed, getting tense, with thousands of students sitting next to you, with noise, with sudden electricity vanishing, with sudden computer stopping, and all of that, so that finally when you reach on the 30th of November, you are prepared for anything that might happen, because you don't know what will happen. Last year, my CAT exam, where I was seated, Noida sector 62, right next door, construction was taking place for 2 hours, constant drilling, बीच में एक बार बत्ती भी चली गई, वो हो सकता है, it could happen with you as well. So you want to experience all of that before the actual exam. If you haven't already, go ahead and register for this. That's all I'm going to talk about with respect to CAT today. Let's go ahead and get into the Nmat part. A couple of things that I want to start with. First and foremost, the checklist. What are the important things that you must have? Obviously, the admit card. This will come out 7 days before the exam. So say your exam is on the 6th, the admit card should be out by the 31st. 6th of November, it should be out by the 31st of October. If it's on the 10th of November, it should be out by the 3rd or the 4th of November. So how will this come out? It will come out on your Nmat dashboard. कोई जरूरी नहीं है मेल आएगा. Some of you all were thinking कि offline by post आएगा. ये सब कुछ नहीं होगा. You have to do the hard work. Go to the dashboard and keep checking. What you will need to carry for the exam along with your admit card, my suggestion, carry 2 ID proofs, one primary, one secondary. Primary you would have already filled in while filling the form कि ये मेरा primary होगा, वही लेके जाना, एक secondary भी ले जाना, हो सके तो एक photocopy भी ले जाना. You don't know what will be required. Last year it was required of me. Last year it wasn't. You don't know what will happen. My suggestion, do carry all of this. Pen, paper and all कुछ नहीं लेके जाना, वहां सब कुछ मिल जाएगा. अगर फिर भी ज्यादा stress है, you can carry a pen, but it's not a necessity. Okay. This is what the exam pattern looks like. I'm quite sure everybody is aware of this by now, but in case you weren't, yes, it's a very, very different kind of an exam. As you can see in language skill, 36 questions, logical 36 questions, quant 36, overall 108. So the number of questions is same, the time changes. In most of the exams, the time per section is the same, questions change. Here, the number of questions is the same, but the time changes because they are testing different things in different section. In language skills, they're testing speed, they're testing your knowledge of grammar, they're testing your knowledge of vocabulary. They are not going too deep into RCs or too deep into parajumbles and critical reasoning like in CAT. So they don't give you too much time. So it basically roughly, if I'm doing my math correctly, you're talking about anywhere between 45 to 50 seconds per question, nothing more than that. Then you move to logical reasoning. Suddenly they state, okay, we'll give you a little bit more time, but यहाँ पे भी हम आपको 1.1 minute per question दे रहे, उससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं दे रहे. क्या करने वाले हैं? Logical reasoning के अंदर 2 part होंगे. There is going to be analytical reasoning and verbal reasoning, both of it combined. General breakup, you can say, is about 55-60% analytical reasoning, about 40 to 45% verbal reasoning. And finally, the quantitative skill section, where you're seeing they're giving you roughly 1.5 minutes per question. इसी के अंदर DI भी आ जाता है. You can expect about 8-10 questions of DI, and the remaining, which will be of quant and data sufficiency. So that is basically what the paper pattern is like. As I stated, very, very different from any other exam that you will encounter. Also timed है, but timed के साथ एक और problem क्या है? You cannot go back to any question. Once you answered a question, you move to the next one. You cannot go back to that previous question. So you have to be very careful by answering it, especially if it is a question that you're comfortable with and a question that you're confident of. Okay. There are 2 or 3 questions. Can you suggest the section order we should attempt? Saloni, I will be picking it up. I have a particular section for that altogether. Can you please suggest any test series for Snap and Nmat? Yes, the Career Launcher test series. The Nmat mocks this time are adaptive as well. And the Snap test series, obviously, of Career Launcher. You can even look at the online classes of both Snap and Nmat of CL. But I'll pick up more questions as we go ahead. Okay, so let me go back to where I was. Okay, let me go back to where I was. Yeah. Now, this is the important part. Something new happened last year. Last year, till before last year, say till 2023, what they used to do was Nmat exam hota tha. Nmat exam ka cutoff aata tha. Cutoff के बाद stage 2 पे all they used to do was a written assessment test. एक VAT की तरह. There used to be, sometimes a case discussion, and then there used to be an interview. That's all that there used to be. This year they changed it completely. इस ईयर ये लोग ने क्या किया, ये लोग ने बोला 2024 में कि एनमैट तो आप लिखोगे, लेकिन एनमैट का जो वेटेज है वो कम हो जाएगा. Till 2023, the NMAT weightage used to be anywhere between 40 to 60% over the last 8 to 10 years. In 2024, the NMAT weightage became only 20%, and they introduced newer elements. They introduced something called a competency test, जिसमें 50% वेट दे दिया. देन ऑब्वियसली इंटरव्यू तो होगा ही, देन एक साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट होगा, एंड देन दे आल्सो स्टार्टेड लुकिंग एट योर क्लास 10 and 12 marks that you've done in your school. So they started introducing a lot of things, and the weightage of the Nmat exam fell. Because of that, the cutoff last year fell down drastically to only 209, with each sectional at just 62 marks, as you can see, for all campuses. In fact, generally ये होता था कि मुंबई कैंपस का कट ऑफ यूज्ड टू बी हायर देन अ बैंगलोर, हैदराबाद, इंदौर, नवी मुंबई, all of them. Did not happen last year. The cutoffs for all campuses ended up becoming the same. Now this year, whether the competency test will happen or not, we do not know. My recommendation is assume वो नहीं होगा. तो उसके बेसिस में क्या कट ऑफ होगा, I will pick up in the next slide. But before that, just to reiterate what I was stating, last year NMAT by GMAC, that is the Nmat exam, only 20% weight, 50% to the competency test, 10% to PI, 10% to work experience, greater than 1 year है तो मिल गया. Then academic record में 5% weightage to graduation and 5% to your final year. 5% to your higher secondary, which is your class 12, and 5% to your final year in graduation. So that is how 100% came up. Now, 2 to 3 important things that you need to keep in mind is, within the competency test, there were two parts, a written aptitude test and a psychometric test. ये जो written aptitude test है, think of it as an aptitude test, almost like the NMAT test or the SNAP exam that you will have, not of the CAT level or the ZAT level. वो एक फिर से टेस्ट लेंगे, पर उस टेस्ट के अंदर एक डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन भी आया था, पोर्टफोलियो एनालिसिस टेस्ट सेट्स. सो वी विल कवर दिस इन द कॉम्पिटेंसी टेस्ट mocks that will be released in the month of January, once the result is out, and once NMAT confirms or NMIMS confirms the competency test hoga. Do not worry, the same will be covered there. Okay, for now focus on NMAT by GMAC, because that is the only thing in your hand at this point in time. Also, from a UI perspective, two things to keep in mind. Like I stated, you have to choose your own sequence of attempting the paper. What should that sequence be? I will be suggesting later on. There is a section on that, and I'll tell you why. No question paper palette, like I spoke about. Question 1 आंसर कर दिया, अब 2, 3, 4 जाते रहोगे, 1 पे वापस नहीं जा पाओगे, 2 पे वापस नहीं जा पाओगे. सेकेंड प्रॉब्लम, DI सेट जो होते हैं, RC के सेट पैसेजेस जो आते हैं, उसमें यू विल हैव टू स्क्रॉल लेफ्ट एंड राइट एंड अप एंड डाउन. अब समझो मैंने एक बार स्क्रॉल कर लिया, मुझे वो पैसेज अब याद भी हो गया, एंड आई कैन आंसर क्वेश्चन 2, क्वेश्चन 3 ऑफ द आरसी विदाउट स्क्रॉलिंग. इट विल गिव यू अ मैसेज पॉप अप कि भाई स्क्रॉल करो, स्क्रॉल करना पड़ेगा. So for each question of the RC, you need to scroll up and down and left and right. That's a problem. You end up wasting time. Please keep that in mind beforehand. There is no going back to the previous question, like I pointed out. No mark for review, nothing like that. So this is all very, very different from a UI perspective. Doesn't come in any other exam. If I look at it from a section-wise analysis perspective, what is it that NMAT 24 threw up last year? This is basically what it was. I'll start off with the logical reasoning section. Like I spoke about, दो part है, analytical reasoning है and verbal reasoning है. If I look at questions here, the ones I will take are analytical reasoning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all analytical reasonings, and the last one. Okay, now you can add them. 4, 4, 8 plus 1, 9, 9 plus 2, 11 plus 2, 13 plus 1, 14 plus 1, 15 plus 4, 19. So like I stated, AR का 19 था, and अगर मैं बोलूं verbal reasoning का कितना था, 36 minus 19, which is 17, which is why I was stating generally around 55-60% ही होता है जो AR आता है, and that is exactly what it came last year. Now look at the kind of questions. You have not prepared for input output in CAT. It is different. Order ranking, ठीक है, simple. Syllogism, all men are cows. All cows are bees. Some bees are hats. So all men are hats. Is this true or not from a conclusion perspective? Those are the kind of questions. I will pick up certain questions, like I stated, memory-based questions. We carried a few type of questions that come. I will do syllogism there to explain to you. Venn diagram question, logical Venn diagram. मतलब वो ऐसा कुछ बना देंगे, बोलेंगे all triangle are men, all square are children, all circles are human being, all rectangles are those who have non-veg. So how many children have non-veg? A question like that. So you know, oh, children ये है, non-veg ये है, तो ये वाला part वो लोग ढूंढ रहे हैं. Stuff like that. You know, logical Venn diagram इसको बोलते हैं. Statement conclusion we are aware of होता क्या? Course of action. Basically they will give you a particular scenario and tell you what is the most logical course of action that can happen here. वो decision making type ही होता है. Statement assumption, statement inference, statement implicit argument. Clearly समझ आता है what all of that means. Grid based finding a number, they will create a grid or they will create a star and they will put some numbers and they will say, oh, एक missing number है, वो बताओ क्या होगा. Number based LR, so एक LR set भी आया. So in all of this, there were just these sets. This was the set, input output के these were sets. These were the only ones which were sets. None of the others were sets. Okay, so this is basically what the logical reasoning section threw up. I'll go through all three sections before I take your questions. Quant में आ जाती है, like I pointed out, look at this, these two, DI. फिर आ जाता है data sufficiency. Data sufficiency क्या होता है? They will ask you a question. They will say, okay, is A greater than B? Then they will give one statement regarding a relationship between A and B. Then they will give statement 2 regarding a relationship between A and B. And then they will give only statement 1 was sufficient to answer the question. Yeah, only statement 2 was sufficient to answer the question. Yeah, both together was sufficient to answer the question. Yeah, either of them alone was sufficient to answer a question. Yeah, both together you could not answer the question. ऐसे आएगा. That is basically what data sufficiency is. So data sufficiency अगर हम देखेंगे उसके भी 3 questions थे. So there were 11 questions which were non-DI, which were non-quant. DS के अंदर, like you can see, however, number system and arithmetic के base पे DS आया था. एक important चीज which I want you all to notice is there was no geometry. No geometry when it comes to Nmat. But, and this is something I constantly state in the sessions which I take, look at number system and modern math, 12 questions. So अगर मैं quant की बात करूं, अगर मैं 8 of DI हटा दूं, 36 minus 8, 28. 28 में 12 questions are number system and modern math, two topics which people generally leave for CAT. अब छोड़ दोगे अगर और 10-15 दिन में Nmat लेने वाले हो या 5 दिन में Nmat लेने वाले हो, पढ़ोगे कब number system and modern math? And we are saying roughly 40% of the entire quant is number system and modern math. Hence I kept stating right from the beginning कि number system modern math छोड़ना मत, non-CAT में जरूरत पड़ेगी. You still have 1 month. Please ensure that you're spending time and going ahead and focusing on this. If you don't, it will become a problem when it comes to CAT. Go ahead further. If you look at it, arithmetic. So arithmetic, if you look at, we are talking about anywhere around 7 questions of arithmetic. बाकी जो है वो basically algebra है, which is about 6 questions. So look at this. Arithmetic and modern math का weightage same. Algebra and number system का weightage almost same. That is why this paper is very different from other papers. This is one of the few papers जहाँ geometry छोड़ के हर part of quant को वो लोग काफी focus करते हैं. Please ensure that you are doing that and you're spending enough time on this. Finally, the last section, which is the verbal section, इसके अंदर 3 RCs came last year. Some of the students also reported 2 RCs, so please keep that in mind. Roughly 12 questions of RCs that came in my paper at least. Parajumbles अगर हम देखेंगे, there were 2 kinds, 5 sentence parajumbles and 4 sentence, that is 6 questions. Error spotting, मतलब आपको grammatical error बताना है sentence में क्या है. Sentence को 4 part या 5 part में divide कर दिया, underline कर दिया है. So they will underline and they'll tell you, okay, the first underlined part is A, the second underlined part is B, the third underlined part is C, the fourth is D. Point out which of them have an error, A, B, C, D. And then option E, which is none of these. Also keep in mind, Nmat almost always has 5 options, unlike CAT, which generally has 4. Nmat generally has about 5 options, okay? So this is grammar, okay? Error spotting is generally grammar. Then comes FIB, which is correct sentence. Once again, fill in the blank with the correct word. अब वो जो word होगा वो generally vocab भी हो सकता है, grammar भी हो सकता है. अगर आप FIB देखो, this is grammar, this is grammar. This part, which is FIB, fill in the blanks, and FIB, choose the correct word. These 2 parts are vocab plus grammar. So out of these 5 questions, there were 3 which were vocab and 2 grammar. And analogy obviously is going to be A is to B is equal to C is to D. तो वो जनरली आपको vocab oriented होता है. So you will generally find about 6-7 questions of vocab. You will generally find anywhere, and if you add it, you will see roughly around 8 questions of grammar and anywhere around 12 questions of RCs. So if you add these, you are already talking about 26, 27 questions. 6 question parajumble add kar lo, you are suddenly looking at about your 33, 34 questions. 36 aate hai, 1 or 2 more questions here or there. That is generally how the paper is broken up. Now that we've looked at that, let me look at some of the questions that you all have posed so that I can go ahead and answer them before I move ahead to the remaining part. Okay, any penalty? My exam is on 9th. I am preparing solely for CAT. When should I start writing mocks? मैं एक एक करके लेता हूँ, ठीक है? So okay, Anant, for CAT, when should I start giving mocks? I think you're already late. If your exam is on the 9th and NMAT allows you to take 3 attempts, but generally it's the first attempt that NMIMS will consider. That's about it. 9th को अगर है, your exam is in 10 days. 8th को तो लिखोगे नहीं. You have about 7-8 days to write mocks. At least write 3 to 4 mocks from now till the 8th. Write one tomorrow, maybe another one on 2nd, another on 5th, and maybe one more on 7th. 4 mocks you can write, do it. Any penalty for leaving any question unanswered? You cannot leave any question unanswered. The way you can do it, you can't leave questions in between. So say first question आया, फिर second, फिर third, फिर fourth, आपको answer करते रहना है. समझो speed के वजह से you couldn't answer 7-8 questions towards the end. It's okay, but it will be considered incorrect. It will be considered you got them wrong. So any question that you've left, it will be considered you've gotten it wrong. So my recommendation generally is, in every single section, please keep roughly 1 minute to 1.5 minutes, roughly anywhere between 60 to 90 seconds toward the end, to randomly mark questions which you've not been able to do towards the end. वो बीच में तो होगे नहीं, because एक एक करके आ रहे हो, end के 10-12 होगे, 1 minute में सब mark कर दो and आगे जाओ. उसको guess कैसे करना है? I have a section on that as well. I will tell you how to do that. So Bhavesh is saying, I'm an NMAT on 23rd. Any suggestion for doing number of mocks and in which week? Yeah. My recommendation is, once again, Bhavesh, 5 mocks at least. So the way to do it is, ab CAT ke bhi aapko likhne hai, right? So the way you can go ahead and do it is, and I'll go back to the slide for this. From now till NMAT, you are saying, which is on the 23rd. Let's say you've got 21 days. Why? Because 22nd को लिखोगे नहीं. So 21 days of मैं अक्टूबर ले लेता हूँ, ये जो नवंबर ले लेता हूँ, जो 2 दिन अक्टूबर है, भूलते हैं. 21 days है. In 21 days में ideally how many mocks of CAT should you be writing? 1 every 3 days हम generally बोलते हैं, तो 7 mocks समझो. If you don't write 7, you write 7 mocks of CAT. My recommendation is there have to be 5 NMAT mocks. अब अगर वो नहीं हो पा रहा, so you can make it 5 CAT and 5 NMAT mocks. 5 plus 5. The way you could go about it is, and randomly मैं अभी बोल रहा हूँ, say 2nd, 7th, 12th, 17th, and say 20th. These could be the days on which you're writing the mocks for NMAT. CAT के लिए accordingly you can pick up the dates. 16th November को तो लिखोगे, like I pointed out, और 4 dates निकाल लो. Then 24th को भी एक CAT का mock लिख लो after NMAT. Then 27th को भी एक CAT का mock लिख लो, which will be your last CAT mock. So that way you'll be able to write about 7 CAT mocks in November and 5 NMAT mocks. That's the way that you can go ahead and do it, Bhavesh. I hope that was helpful. So till I've given 5, you don't give mocks, you write it or you take it. Okay, please keep that in mind. All of you all are stating 180 to 200, 100 to 150. Guys, fight hai. NMAT mocks present right now. Adaptive, there's a section called adaptive mocks as well in your MyZone Vidhi. You can go ahead and have a look at it. Guys, in CL mocks, you all need to go ahead and be scoring at least 210 के आसपास. ये algo ही है. This is not raw score, so it will be difficult for it to go higher. So I would say go back to the drawing board, see कहाँ पे problem आ रही है, see each section में क्या है. जिस भी section में you are scoring below 70, it's a problem, because like I showed you, sectional cutoff was 62, 62, 62, but overall was 209. That means ideally the way to look at it is 70, 70, 70 तो minimum चाहिए होगा. उससे कम अगर आ रहा है तो थोड़ी fight होगी. So look at it from that perspective. Okay. How many previous there are no previous year papers available for NMAT. They don't release the papers. How good are NMAT official mocks in predicting score if someone is scoring 240? Yeah. So if you're scoring in the official mock roughly around 240, your range, I would say, would be nothing more than 10-12 marks lower than that, and could be 10 marks high. So I would say plus minus 10. 230 to 250 का range होना चाहिए. So it's a good place. But वो बहुत restrictive है, because they are not exposing you to all topics through those 2 to 3 mocks. So my recommendation is still do a test series. I hope that will help you and expose you a little bit more in terms of the kind of questions that come. Okay. Just to let you know, on the 6th of November, I will be taking a complete analysis of the Nmat exam. I am writing it on the 6th of November. I'll be taking a complete analysis. I'll discuss a few questions and all with you as well, type of questions that are coming. On the 5th of November, we will also do a first impression basis. First day लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं, कैसे बोल रहे हैं, ये analysis नहीं होगा, ये आपको basic outline बता देंगे, but 6th को आके full fledged analysis होगा. I will come there, I'll pick up the questions, I'll talk about the strategy, I'll talk about what is different, how it feels, what are the different stress points that you could have, what are the things to keep in mind, and so on and so forth. So ये earmark कर लो कि 6th को 8:30 PM ये होगा, miss मत करना, अभी से mark कर लो, बाद में मत बोलना, ठीक है? Because any other questions after that will become difficult to handle. So those of you who have your exam in November, please ensure that you catch it live on the 6th of November at 8:30. From a cutoff perspective, and this is what I was stating, last year ka to we went ahead and we saw ki 62 tha, overall 209. This is what I wanted you all to look at the previous years. 2023 में अगर देखेंगे मुंबई का 234, 2022 में 232, एंड जनरली इसमें होता क्या था, क्वांट के लिए यू नीडेड रफली अराउंड 74 प्लस, लैंग्वेज के लिए यू नीडेड रफली अराउंड 76 प्लस, रीजनिंग के लिए you needed roughly 74 plus. There would be years where quantum it has also gone to 70 or 72. There would be years where reasoning में it's gone to 72, but language के लिए 76 तो हमेशा ही चाहिए था. So my recommendation is prep assuming कि competency test नहीं होगा, होगा तो ठीक है, अच्छा है, 209 में भी हो जाएगा, but इसके लिए अगर prep करोगे अच्छा ही है, वो 20% weight जो NMAT के marks को जा रहा है उसमें you will go ahead and benefit quite a bit. Okay, so please ensure that you keep this in mind. And like I pointed out in the previous years, the cutoffs for the other NM colleges was very different. Last year all of them ended up being 209. Keep that in mind. Okay, understanding the adaptive exam environment, very very important. Adaptive exam environment में होता क्या है? The basic funda is they are using a system of iteration to understand what exactly your competence is. वो आइटरेटिव सिस्टम जो होता है ना, वो एक सिंपल लॉजिक पे ऑपरेट करता है कि फर्स्ट 25% ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस इन एनी सेक्शन के बाद वो डिसाइड कर लेता है कि आपका लेवल ये है. हम लोग कैट में बोलते हैं ना औकात स्कोर. सो थिंक ऑफ इट एज फर्स्ट 25% ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस in every section पे the system is identifying what your औकात score is. So my general recommendation to everybody is कि the first 9 questions of every section पे आराम से time लगा के accurate रहो. If say you get 9 out of 9 correct, okay, then say in the next 9 you get 7 out of 9 correct, then say in the next 9 you get 6 out of 9 correct, then say in the next 9 you've guessed all of them and you get 3 out of 9 correct. Add it, you're looking at 16, 22, 25 right out of 36. मार्क्स होना चाहिए था 75. एक्चुअली मार्क्स क्या होगा? इट विल बी वेरी वेरी क्लोज टू 90. ऑन द फ्लिप साइड, अज्यूम फर्स्ट 9 में यू गेट 6 आउट ऑफ 9 करेक्ट, नेक्स्ट 9 में यू गेट 8 आउट ऑफ 9 करेक्ट, नेक्स्ट 9 में यू गेट 9 आउट ऑफ 9 करेक्ट, उसके बाद वाले 9 में यू गो अहेड एंड यू गेट रफली अराउंड 4 आउट ऑफ 9 करेक्ट. अभी ऐड कर लो वापस 14, 23, 27, विच इज एग्जैक्टली व्हाट वी वर हियर. आई थिंक 15, 22, 25 था. ओके, तो वापस ये कर लेते हैं जस्ट फ्रॉम अ कॉन्टेक्स्ट परस्पेक्टिव. 16, 22 ठीक है, तो मैंने इसको 6 कर दिया, इसको 8 कर दिया, इसको भी से 8 कर दो. सो ये 16, 22 और ये 3 आउट ऑफ 9. अब यहाँ पे भी यू आर गेटिंग 25 क्वेश्चंस करेक्ट. इधर you should be getting 75 marks. Actually what you will end up getting is roughly around 68 marks or so. इधर भी 25 right है, इधर भी 25 right है. यहाँ पे the scaling worked for you and you scored somewhere around 85, 90. यहाँ पे did not work for you, you scored somewhere around 70. That is how the system works. फर्स्ट पार्ट को वो बहुत वेट दे रहा है, विच इज वाई द फर्स्ट 9 को सबसे वेट दिया, उसके बाद वाले 9 को ज्यादा वेट दिया, उसके बाद वाले 9 को वेट दिया, लास्ट वाले 9 को सबसे कम. यहाँ पे सबसे ज्यादा जिसको वेट दिया, देयर यू स्क्रूड अप, वहां प्रॉब्लम है. So please ensure the first 25%, the first quarter of the section पे फोकस रहे, नेक्स्ट क्वार्टर पे भी फोकस रहे, थर्ड एंड फोर्थ क्वार्टर जो आपका आएगा उस पे थोड़ा कम फोकस वैसे भी होगा, बिकॉज एंड में इज वेयर मोस्ट ऑफ द गेसेस विल कम. इफ यू आर गेसिंग अबाउट 8-10 क्वेश्चंस इन एवरी सेक्शन, it is going to happen in the last 2 quarters, which is why the first 2 quarters become very very important. उन 18 questions में first 9 में try ensuring that you get 8-9 right, next 9 में try ensuring you get 7-8 right, you have a very very high chance of ensuring कि 75 plus तो section में आएगा. Is this part clear to everybody? From an adaptive perspective, this is very very important. I hope everybody has understood this. Generally, people don't talk about this. It's an adaptive exam. It's not like CAT. It's not like ZAT. जहाँ पे चाहे लास्ट के 3 क्वेश्चन राइट करो या फर्स्ट के 3 क्वेश्चन राइट करो 9 ही मिलना है, यहाँ पे वो नहीं होगा. I hope this is clear. Okay. Yeah, the new mock is adaptive. When should one give Nmat official mock, given that there are only 2 attempts? I've gone ahead and already stated that you can probably give it right now, and say around the 2nd or the 5th, and say one more around the 15th. Okay. So you are asking me to explain this again. I'll explain this again. It's an adaptive exam, which means what you do in the first half becomes very important. From an Nmat or any other adaptive exam perspective, it's iterative. वो आपके फर्स्ट क्वार्टर ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस को देखता है, हाउ यू परफॉर्म्ड, और आपका एक लेवल डिसाइड कर लेता है. से फर्स्ट 9 में यू गेट 9, इट ऑलरेडी डिसाइड्स ऑन इस चार्ट कि भैया ये बंदा ना मेरे को 90 परसेंटाइल टाइप ही लग रहा है. सो योर चार्ट स्टार्ट्स हियर. अब नेक्स्ट 9 जो होंगे, लेवल ऑफ डिफिकल्टी भी थोड़ा हायर होगा, उसमें 7 राइट मिला, यू आर मूविंग अप फ्रॉम 90. फिर 6 और 9 यू आर मूविंग अप फ्रॉम हियर, बिकॉज आपको राइट मिली जा रहा है. ऑन द फ्लिप साइड, पहला बंदा जिसको जब 6 और 9 मिला, वो बंदा 90 परसेंटाइल की जगह वो ऑलरेडी उसको सिस्टम 60 परसेंटाइल बोलता है. सो दैट पर्सन इज सिटिंग एट अ 60 परसेंटाइल. नाउ फ्रॉम 60 percentile he gets 8 or 9 right. From 60 he moves probably to a 70. He gets another 8 or 9. From 70 he might move to an 85. Then gets 3 or 9. From an 85 will move to an 88. This guy started with 90. From 97 on 9 pe he moved to a 95. 6 on 9 pe moved to a 97. 3 on 9 pe maybe ended at a 97. This guy ended at an 85, 87. This guy ended at a 97 from a percentile perspective. That is how adaptive works. First क्वार्टर ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस के बेसिस में आपका एक बेंचमार्क आ जाता है. वो बोलता है इसकी तो औकात 90 परसेंटाइल है, इससे जज करूंगा. दूसरे बंदे को बोलता है इसकी तो औकात 60 परसेंटाइल है, इससे जज करूंगा. ऑब्वियसली उसके बाद अगर मेरे को 3 और 9 नहीं राइट मिलेंगे तो वो 90 से मेरे को घटा भी सकता है, बट आई एम अज्यूमिंग कि वैसी सिचुएशन तो नहीं आएगी. यू विल गेट एटलीस्ट 60-70% करेक्ट, सो इट विल कीप इंक्रीजिंग. आई होप दिस हेल्प्ड यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट अडैप्टिव इज. ओके, to those of you asking kaun sa lena hai, please go ahead and take this. We've got 2 adaptive mocks like we've pointed out. Nmat mini test series hai, there are mocks there. Go ahead and utilize it. The adaptive mocks will help you understand exactly where you stand from an actual exam perspective. Okay, let's keep moving ahead. Let's actually have a look at a few previous year questions, type of questions that come practice ke liye. Like I promised, input output आएगा, वो CAT में generally आता नहीं है. This is what it looks like. Answer the question on the basis of the information given below. A computer program converts a 2-digit number into another number in 5 steps. The following example illustrates the operations on 6 2-digit numbers. Input क्या है? 10, 24, 31, 11, 7, 72. 10 से I get 1, 24 से 6, 31 से 4, 11 से 2, 7 से 7, 72 से 9. If I look at this, I can see it is sum of digits. 1 plus 0 is 1, 2 plus 4 is 6, 3 plus 1 is 4, 1 plus 1 is 2, 7 का 7, 7 plus 2 is 9. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट वाला देख लो अब क्या है. 1, 10, 1 और अभी 11, 24, 6, 60, 31, 4, 47. What is my mind doing? My mind tells me, Gautam, 10 and 1, 11 ये तो ऐड हो रहा है, पर 24 प्लस 6 तो 30 होता है, ये 60 है, तो ये ऐड नहीं हो रहा, और कुछ हो रहा है. तो अब मेरे दिमाग में हो रहा है अगर एडिशन होता तो क्या होता. तो मैं 11 माइनस 10 करता हूँ 1 आता है, 60 माइनस 24 करता हूँ 36 आता है, 47 माइनस 31 करता हूँ 16 आता है, 15 माइनस 11 करता हूँ 4 आता है, 56 माइनस 7 करता हूँ 49 आता है, 153 माइनस 72 करता हूँ 81 आता है. अब मैं ये देख रहा हूँ 1 is nothing but 1 squared, 36 is 6 squared, 16 is 4 squared, 4 is 2 squared, 49 is 7 squared, 81 is 9 squared. मतलब हो क्या रहा है, इनपुट प्लस स्क्वायर ऑफ स्टेप 1, इनपुट प्लस स्क्वायर ऑफ स्टेप 1. सो इस स्टेप में क्या हो रहा है, इनपुट प्लस स्टेप 1 स्क्वायर्ड, यहां से यहां जा रहा है. नेक्स्ट देखो 11 moves to 21, 60 to 84, 47 to, ये तो डायरेक्टली दिख रहा है. इफ आई चेंज द कलर, it is 11 plus 10 is 21, 60 plus 24 is 84, 47 plus 31 is 78. तो यहां क्या हो रहा है, it is step 2 plus input. ओके, नेक्स्ट में अब क्या हो रहा है, लेट्स कीप गोइंग. 21 has become 2, 84 has become 11, 78 has become 14, 26 has become 7, 63 has become 8, 225 has become 8. When a big number became a smaller number, the first thing that struck me when I went from input to step 1 was sum of digits. So try sum of digits again. Let's try sum of digits again. 2 plus 1 3 होता है, 8 plus 4 12 होता है, 7 plus 8 15 होता है, 2 plus 6 8 होता है, 6 plus 3 9 होता है, 2 plus 2 plus 5 9 होता है. ये देखो, this is 3 minus 1, 12 minus 1, 15 minus 1. So it is basically sum of digits of step 4, sorry, of step 3 minus 1. Sum of digits of step 3 minus 1. फिर last step 2 3 11 17 14 18 7 9 8 15 8 17. Again 2 and 3 difference is 1. 11 and 17 is 6. 14 and 18 is 4. 7 and 9 is 2. 8 and 17 15 is 7. 8 and 17 is 9, which is nothing but 1 6 4 2. So it is nothing but step 4 plus step 1. ये है लॉजिक. दिस इज व्हाट एन इनपुट आउटपुट इज लाइक. इसके लिए प्रैक्टिस बहुत करनी पड़ती है. इसके लिए आपको देखना भी बहुत पड़ता है कि ये क्या चल रहा है. व्हाट इज इट दैट आई नीड टू गो अहेड एंड डू. राइटिंग मॉक्स, इफ यू आर अ पार्ट ऑफ DILR 1000, there are sessions on input output there as well, and there are certain practice questions, use that as well. So all of this is important. You need practice for that. अब जब ये हो गया, now let's look at the question. If the output in step 2 of a given input is 2, what would be the final output of that input? मतलब स्टेप 2 में आंसर 2 है. ठीक है. स्टेप 2 का आंसर क्या होता है? इनपुट प्लस स्टेप 1 स्क्वायर्ड. मतलब स्टेप 1 में मेरे को इनपुट के सम ऑफ डिजिट्स का स्क्वायर आएगा. सो इट इज द सम ऑफ टू थिंग्स. सम ऑफ टू थिंग्स इज इक्वल टू 2 and both things have to be positive. So the numbers could be 2 and 0 or 1 and 1, right? Let's assume कि sum of digits 1 था. अगर sum of digits 1 था तो उससे पहले जो नंबर होगा वो भी 1 होगा, because this plus this has to give you the answer. This plus this has to give you the answer. समझो sum of digits आपका 2 था, तो इससे पहले जो होगा वो 0 तो हो नहीं सकता. The number can't be 0. If the number is 0, sum of digits cannot be 2. So this is not possible. समझो sum of digits 0 था, तो number can't be 2, because if number is 2, sum of digits will be 2. So 2 plus this, so ये भी नहीं हो सकता. So the only way in which you can get a plus b is equal to 2 is you get 1 plus 1. That means the initial input, okay, the initial input was 1, right? The question is what is the final output. Let's keep in mind initial input was 1. मतलब input में 1 था, step 1 में 1 आया, step 2 में 2 हुआ. Step 3 में क्या हो रहा है? Input plus step 2. Input plus step 2. So 1 plus 2, which is 3. Step 4 में क्या हो रहा है? Sum of digits of third step minus 1. Sum of digits of third step is 3 minus 1. So 2. Step 5 में क्या हो रहा है? Step 4 plus step 1. Step 4 is 2. And step 1 क्या है? Step 1 is 1. So 2 plus 1, which is 3. So the final answer will be 3, which is option A. Is this clear? Is this clear to everybody? Is this clear? Okay. Are CL mocks tougher than the actual Nmat? No, it is not tougher. I will not say it is tougher at all. I would say आप cat mock लिखते हो ना, there will be certain cat mocks which will be tougher, certain which are at the same level, certain which will be lower. When we give you 5 or 6 mocks, 1 or 2 will be tougher, 1 or 2 will be easier, 1 or 2 will be at the same level. That's how it will be. So it will average out to be the same. A, B, X, H, B, जो भी आपका नाम है, enrolled students will have to pay to, depends on what you are enrolled in. If you're enrolled in a program which includes the non-cat mocks, you will not have to pay. If you're enrolled in something else which does not include, you will have to pay. ठीक है. I hope you understood how to go ahead and answer this question. एक और उठा लेते हैं इसी का. If input is 17, output क्या होगा? ठीक है. Input 17 है, तो step 1 पे क्या होगा? Sum of digits 8 हो जाएगा. Step 2 क्या होगा? अब स्टेप 2 में हम लोग ने क्या किया था? इफ यू रिमेंबर, वी हैड रिटन इट हियर. स्टेप 2 बेसिकली वाज इनपुट प्लस स्टेप 1 होल स्क्वायर. सो 17 प्लस स्टेप 1 होल स्क्वायर. सो 17 प्लस स्टेप 1 होल स्क्वायर विल बी 17 प्लस 64, व्हिच इज 81, राइट? ओके. नेक्स्ट क्या है? स्टेप 3. स्टेप 3 में क्या किया था? इनपुट प्लस स्टेप 2, सो दैट इज 81 प्लस 17, व्हिच इज 98. नेक्स्ट क्या है? स्टेप 4 में सम ऑफ डिजिट्स इन स्टेप 3 minus 1. सम ऑफ डिजिट्स इज 17 minus 1, which is 16. Step 5 में क्या है? Step 4 plus step 1. Step 1 was 8, step 4 is 16. So 16 plus 8, which is 24, which is the answer. Clear? So this is the way of going ahead and doing it. Try this. Okay, try this and put it in the comment box and I will tell you whether it is right or not. Take a screenshot. Try it, put it in the comment box. If you're watching this as a video later, put it in comments and I will answer whether it is correct or not. Okay, let's keep moving. ये आ गया जो मैंने आप लोग को बोला था grid based comes. He find out a missing term. Let's look at this grid. 6, 13, 27, 55, 111 question mark. The moment I look at a grid now, first thing to look at is look at something clockwise or look at something anti-clockwise और look at opposite से कुछ आ रहा है कि नहीं. Clockwise देखते हैं. 6 से 13, 13 से 27, उससे 55, उससे 111. Can't I say it is this into 2 plus 1, 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 this into 2 plus 1. 6 into 2 plus 1 is 13, into 2 plus 1 is 27, into 2 plus 1 55, into 2 plus 1 111, into 2 plus 1 223. Answer option C. So whenever something like this comes, check clockwise, check anti-clockwise, check opposite. Generally इसी में आंसर निकल आता है. ठीक है. एक और ग्रिड वाला, लेट्स हैव अ लुक एट दैट. अगेन वी हैव टू फाइंड द मिसिंग वर्ड. मिसिंग यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन मार्क है. वापस ही आया. लेट्स ट्राई क्लॉकवाइज एंटी क्लॉकवाइज एंड ऑल. 8 से 56 से 104 से 12 से 24 से 76, बीच में 280 है. अब 280 इज अ बिग इनफ नंबर टू बी द सम ऑफ समथिंग या प्रोडक्ट कुछ आ रहा हो. अगर मैं ये नंबर्स देख रहा हूँ 56, 104, 24, 76, मेरे को लग रहा है हाँ शायद सम हो. लेट्स ट्राई सम. 76 plus 24 is 100. 56 plus 104 is 160. 8 plus 12 is 20. Added, that is 280. Yes, ये तो sum निकला. 72 plus 18 is 90. 27 plus 9 is 36. 108 plus 50 is 158. 158 and 90, 248. 248 and 36 is 284, which will be option A. That's the way in which the brain will need to operate and work to quickly identify कि क्या चल रहा है. एक और ट्राई करते हैं. मिसिंग टर्म इन सीरीज. 7 to 18 to 35 to 58 to 89. Generally the way I do it is I like to see the difference. 7 to 18 का डिफरेंस क्या है? 11. 18 to 35 का डिफरेंस क्या है? 17. 35 to 58 का डिफरेंस क्या है? 23. 58 to 89 का डिफरेंस क्या है? 31. और इसका मेरे को निकालना है. अब ये देखो 11, 17, 23. द मोमेंट आई सी दिस ना, मेरे को लग रहा था ये कॉमन 6 है, कॉमन 6 है. ये भी 6 होता अगर 29 होता, तो ये तो नहीं है. इट्स नॉट अ कॉमन डिफरेंस एट द सेकंड लेवल. सो नाउ आई स्टार्ट थिंकिंग. डिफरेंस 11, फिर 17, फिर 23, फिर 31. 11, 17, 23, 31 में कॉमन क्या है? प्राइम नंबर्स है. सो डिफरेंस 11 फिर डिफरेंस 13, बीच में एक प्राइम नंबर 13 मिस हो रहा है. डिफरेंस 17 फिर 23, बीच में एक प्राइम नंबर 19 मिस हो रहा है. डिफरेंस 23 फिर 31, बीच में एक प्राइम नंबर 29 मिस हो रहा है. तो सिमिलरली इट विल बी द नेक्स्ट टू नेक्स्ट प्राइम नंबर. 31 के बाद प्राइम नंबर क्या आता है? 37. 37 के बाद प्राइम नंबर क्या आता है? 41. सो द नेक्स्ट डिफरेंस शुड बी 41. 89 प्लस 41 करेंगे 130. सो द आंसर शुड बी 130. क्लियर? Understanding how the mind needs to operate, guys. All of you all understanding? Good to see Kanesh, Bhavesh, Shubham, you all are answering. Is this clear to everybody till here? I have 2-3 more questions. Let's pick it up. I hope this is clear to everybody and you're understanding how to go ahead and look at these questions and attack them. Let's look at the next question. Series is given with one term missing. Choose the correct alternative from the given ones that will complete the series. एज ऑलवेज मैं पहले ऑप्शंस भी देख लेता हूं. y है, z है, x है, y है. खाली फर्स्ट टर्म भी आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया. एट मैक्स आई विल बी डाउन टू 2 ऑप्शंस. यहां मेरे को आंसर मिल जाएगा. सो फर्स्ट टर्म देखता हूं. y t o j e. नाउ मेरे दिमाग में क्या आ रहा है ना गौतम, whenever I see something like this is in an exam like NMAT, I always like to do this. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y Z. The moment the exam starts ना, I first write down the alphabet because alphabet को लेके 3 से 4 क्वेश्चन आएंगे. आपके इधर आएगा, आपके क्वांट में भी कई बार आ सकता है. समथिंग रिलेटेड टू अल्फाबेट्स. इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट. रीजनिंग में तो आएगा ही. सो आई राइट इट डाउन. Y से T. Y से I'm going to T. That's a difference of 1, 2, 3, 4 in between. Okay. Then from Y to T, there are 4 in between. From T, I am going to O. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in between. फिर O आ गया. From O, I am going to J. 1, 2, 3, 4 in between. फिर आ गया J. From J, I am going to E. 1, 2, 3, 4 in between. फिर आ गया E. From E का जाऊंगा वापस 4 का गैप होना चाहिए. 1, 2, 3, 4. इससे पहले क्या आएगा? वापस Z आएगा. Matlab, the answer needs to start with Z. Look at the options. There is only one that starts with Z. That is the answer. Clear? Clear? CC? Is everybody clear, guys? Samajh aaya how to approach the question, how to approach these sort of questions? Okay. Another kind of question. In a certain code, 562 means kings and men. 754 means lord of kings. 694 means men praise Lord. What does Lord of men stand for? ठीक है. Generally ऐसा question जब आता है ना, look at some sort of a pattern or a trend. What is going on in my head is, यार ये 562 is 3 numbers. ये वर्ड्स भी 3 है. यहां पे 3 नंबर्स, ये वर्ड्स भी 3 है. यहां पे 3 नंबर्स, ये वर्ड्स भी 3 है. मतलब ईच वर्ड वुड बी कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग टू अ लेटर दैट गोज ऑन इन माय ब्रेन. देन ऐसे ओवरलैप देख लेते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल किंग्स एंड मेन, ये वाला देखा, एंड मेन प्रेज लॉर्ड, इसको देखा. द ओनली ओवरलैप इज द वर्ड मेन. What is the overlap in digits? I have 562, I have 694. Overlap in digits is 6. So men will be denoted by 6. Men will be denoted by 6. Lord of men, okay, the answer should ideally end in 6. कई बार ये भी नहीं होता, कई बार ये नहीं होता that the number and the word will be in the same order. समझो आंसर मेरा आना चाहिए 476 हाइपोथेटिकली. ठीक है. अब ये जरूरी नहीं है 6 will be men, 7 will be off, 4 will be lord. It could even be 7 is lord, off is 4 and so on and so forth. So I just keep in mind आंसर में एक तो 6 आएगा. देन आई गो कि भैया अब ये देखते किंग्स एंड मेन एंड लॉर्ड ऑफ किंग्स, दोनों में किंग्स आ रहा है. सो किंग्स कैसे डिनोट होगा? 562, 754, 5 कॉमन है. सो 5 विल बी डिनोटेड बाय किंग्स. सो 5 इज किंग्स, 6 इज मेन. अब बचा ऑफ, लॉर्ड ऑफ किंग्स. ओके, लॉर्ड ऑफ किंग्स एंड लॉर्ड ऑफ मेन. आई थिंक आई मेड सम एरर. नहीं, ठीक है. हाँ, लॉर्ड ऑफ किंग्स, राइट? दैट इज व्हाट देव आस्क्ड मी. सो देव आस्क्ड मी लॉर्ड ऑफ मेन. नाउ आई नीड ऑफ. अब देखो लॉर्ड क्या है. लॉर्ड इज देयर इन 694, लॉर्ड इज देयर इन 754. 754, 694, that means 4 is lords. 4 is lords. If 4 is lords, now look at lord of kings. 4 is lords, 5 is king, that means 7 has to be off. So now I know off is 7, lord is 4, men is 6, answer is 476, मतलब option C. I am once again saying, मैं starting में ही कर लेता कि 6 men है, 4 पे lord आ गया, तो 4 से शुरू होना चाहिए, 6 से खत्म होना चाहिए. आंसर इज ऑप्शन सी. बट आई स्टिल वांटेड टू बी सेफ कि कहीं ये तो नहीं ये लोग ने कुछ जंबल कर लिया. लुक एट एनी अदर ऑप्शन, नो अदर ऑप्शन हैज 4, 7 एंड 6 जंबल्ड इन एनी अदर वे. तो ये लोग ने जंबल नहीं किया. वर्ड एंड नंबर आर डिनोटिंग ईच अदर. सो द आंसर इज 476. लेट्स लुक एट वन लास्ट क्वेश्चन. लाइक आई टोल्ड यू सिलोजिज्म देखेंगे. लेट्स लुक एट दैट. Study the following statements and mark if only inference 1 follows, if only inference 2 follows, if both inferences follow, if neither inference follow. Some birds are elephants, some elephants are ants. So generally इसको Venn diagram से करते हैं. Some birds are elephants, तो bird and elephant, bird elephant. एक और वे से मैं क्या कर सकता था? Some birds are elephants. Please keep in mind, some birds are elephants. If I say this is elephant and this is bird, even here some birds are elephants. But there are some birds which are not elephants, so both of these are possible. Then they say some elephants are ants. Okay, एक possibility है ant यहाँ हो, एक possibility है कि ant इधर भी हो. यहाँ पे possibility है some elephants are ants कि भैया ant ऐसा हो. यहाँ पे एक और possibility है सम एलिफेंट्स आर एंट, तो एंट ऐसा हो, एनीथिंग इज पॉसिबल। यहां पे एक और पॉसिबिलिटी है कि भैया सॉरी सम एलिफेंट्स आर एंट बोला है, तो एंट ऐसा हो। There are multiple ways of depicting this, so you need to be careful and think of it all. So some birds are ants. Is it necessary that some birds are ant? ये देखो काउंटर एग्जांपल आ गए, यहाँ पे some birds are ant नहीं है, कोई भी नहीं है, so ये तो गलत है। Some ants are bird, इसी में काउंटर एग्जांपल आ गया कि ये जरूरी नहीं है। So in general in syllogism we are looking for counter examples. तो अगर मैं ये पहले पढ़ लेता कि some birds are ants and some ants are birds ढूंढ रहे हैं, I would have just made this and I would have left it कि भैया काउंटर एग्जांपल यहीं आ गया, ये सारे केसेस की जरूरत नहीं है। So neither one nor two follows, so the answer will be option D if neither inference follows. Is this clear to everybody? Has everybody understood how we can go ahead and do this? Clear, guys? Rachit, which question did you want me to explain? Can you tell me again? The 476 one? 476 one? कौन सा वाला आपने बोला था? मैंने कर दिया था, but which question do you want me to explain? I will explain it again. I hope this part is clear. Sir, for this we have to every possible, हाँ like I stated शुभम, every possible सोचना होगा, पर every possible बनाना जरूरी नहीं है। मैंने फर्स्ट वाला वेन डायग्राम ही किया, उससे मेरे को मिल गया कि भैया ये आंसर नहीं हो सकता, बाकी की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ी। ओके, यू फेल इट वाज टफ, ZYXW, ZYXW ठीक है, वो कर लेते हैं यार, सिंपल सी चीज है। ZYXW में मेरे को सब नहीं देखना था। Y से जब मैं T जा रहा हूं, Y एंड T के बीच में कितने लेटर्स है? 1 2 3 4। T से जब मैं O जा रहा हूं, उसके बीच में कितने लेटर्स है? 1 2 3 4। O से जब J जा रहा हूं, कितने लेटर्स है? 1 2 3 4। J से जब E जा रहा हूं, कितने लेटर्स है? 1 2 3 4। तो E से जिस भी आंसर पे जाऊंगा, उनके बीच में 4 लेटर्स होने चाहिए। 1 2 3 4। फोर्थ लेटर A पे खत्म होता है, तो A से पहले वाला कौन सा होगा? इट विल बी Z। A टू Z खत्म हो गया, वापस Z से वापस शुरू हो गया, so it will start with Z, so the answer is option B. Clear? So guys, this was an example of the kind of questions that come in Nmat. Like I stated, very different from the CAT exam, but not difficult. It's easy to do. 7-10 days of practice and it will be more than exam. Enough. Few things that I want you to keep in mind, do's and don'ts. You have to attempt every single question in this paper. You can't leave out anything. First 25% of the question in each section, very important from an adaptive perspective. I have already explained that to you. Please try and ensure that 8 या 9 out of the first 9 मेरे को एटलीस्ट सही मिल जाए, बहुत काम हो जाएगा। Use logic in guesswork. What do I mean by that? The way I do it is, हर सेक्शन जब आता है ना, मैं उसमें देखता हूं कि द क्वेश्चंस व्हिच आई वाज आंसरिंग सीरियसली, फॉर एग्जांपल से क्वांट का सेक्शन आया, देयर आर 36 क्वेश्चंस, मैंने 25 क्वेश्चन सीरियसली आंसर किए, इसमें मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ आंसर मेरे जो आ रहे थे बी है, तो बाकी के जो 11 क्वेश्चन होंगे आई विल गो अहेड एंड आंसर बी। सिमिलरली रीजनिंग का क्वेश्चन आया, आउट ऑफ 36 क्वेश्चन आई आंसर्ड से 27 सीरियसली, 9 नहीं किए, उस 27 में मोस्ट ऑफ देम वर ए, तो बाकी 9 को भी ए गेस करूंगा। दैट इज द वे दैट आई विल डू इट। गेस ऑल क्वेश्चंस इन वन पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन बाय द सेम letter, by the same option, but that option ideally should be the one जो सबसे ज्यादा बार आ रहा है in the questions that you answered seriously. That's the logic you should use. And for those who are not good at quant, please ensure कि आप DI अच्छे से करो। DI के 8 questions भी अगर आपके सही हो गए, एंड DS के 3 क्वेश्चन में अगर 2 भी सही हो गए, 10 questions done. बाकी के क्वांट में जो questions है out of 36, we are talking about 25 more questions in quant. Even if you get roughly 50% of them right, एंड स्टार्टिंग के आपको काफी राइट मिल जाए, यू स्टिल हैव अ वेरी गुड चांस ऑफ गेटिंग 70-72 प्लस, मतलब सेक्शनल तो हो जाएगा। ठीक है। डोंट्स में, डोंट गेट स्टक, दिस इज एन एग्जाम विच इज अ स्प्रिंट, यू कांट अफोर्ड टू गेट स्टक, जल्दी जल्दी करना होगा। माय रिकमेंडेशन, रीजनिंग में किसी भी क्वेश्चन में 60 सेकंड से ज्यादा अगर लग रहा है, आंसर एंड मूव अहेड, उससे ज्यादा टाइम मत लगाओ। वर्बल में 45 सेकंड्स, क्वांट में 90 सेकंड्स। रीजनिंग में यू कैन स्टिल गिव योरसेल्फ 75 to 90 सेकंड्स इन क्वेश्चंस व्हिच यू नो, ये तो मैं गारंटीड कर लूंगा, स्पेशली अगर फर्स्ट 9 क्वेश्चंस है। वर्बल के फर्स्ट 9 क्वेश्चंस में 60 सेकंड्स देना है तो दे देना, क्वांट के फर्स्ट 9 क्वेश्चंस में 110 सेकंड्स देना है तो दे देना, बिकॉज फर्स्ट 9 क्वेश्चंस बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है। first 25% mein agar you've gone ahead and aced it well, you have a good chance of doing well in this paper. So please keep these things in mind. My recommendation of the order in which you should attempt this paper, because you will be asked this right at the beginning of the paper, is I always state सबसे ज्यादा दिमाग जो लगता है वो एलआर में लगता है. अभी हमने देखा भी मल्टीपल चीजें हमें सोचनी पड़ती है एंड उसके अंदर वर्बल रीजनिंग आ जाएगा, स्टेटमेंट अजम्पशन, इम्प्लिसिट, कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन, स्टफ लाइक दैट. इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी इजी. सो आई लाइक टू स्टार्ट विथ एलआर. बट एलआर में स्पीड बहुत ज्यादा होनी होती है एंड वर्बल में भी स्पीड जाना होती है, ज्यादा होनी होती है. क्वांट में थोड़ा रिलैक्सेशन मिलता है. सो एलआर के बाद आई लाइक अ रिलैक्सेशन इन क्वांट कि आई कैन रिलैक्स अ लिटिल. स्टार्टिंग में आई कैन गिव माई सेल्फ अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ टाइम ऑफ डूइंग इट बिकॉज 1.5 मिनट पर क्वेश्चन है. एंड देन आई लाइक टू एंड विद लैंग्वेज स्किल बिकॉज लैंग्वेज स्किल में ग्रामर एंड वोकैब में वैसे भी ज्यादा ब्रेन नहीं चाहिए. आरसीज भी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड होते हैं. थोड़ा जहां पे हम लोग फंस सकते हैं कुड बी a little bit with respect to parajumbles and all, but that should be okay. Either I know the vocab or I don't. Either I know the grammar or I don't. यहाँ पे मेरे को ब्रेन लगाने का ज्यादा नहीं है, ब्रेन इन दोनों में ज्यादा लगता है. So my recommendation is generally the first one. Start with logical, move to quant, then move to language. You don't have to do this, but that is my recommendation. Okay. One more thing which I want to leave with you all before I move to the last few tips is, some of you all have been asking, sir, ideally कितने serious attempts होने चाहिए? If I'm looking at the LR part, I would say 23 to 24 serious attempts. इसके अंदर से even if you get 20 right and the remaining 12 guesses में say you get even 3 or 4 right, आपको मिल जाएगा 23, 24 नेट करेक्ट. 23 नेट करेक्ट का मतलब 69 होता है, लेकिन अगर फर्स्ट 9 क्वेश्चन अच्छे से गए हैं, दिस विल श्योरली बी 76 प्लस. इन द सेम वे क्वांट के अंदर माय रिकमेंडेशन, क्योंकि यहाँ डीआई भी है और टाइम भी थोड़ा ज्यादा है, एम टू गेट अबाउट 24, 25 इन टर्म्स ऑफ एक्चुअल सीरियस अटेम्प्ट्स. इसमें अगेन लेट्स से यू गेट 20 राइट, बाकी के जो आप 10 गेसेस कर रहे हो, से यू गेट अबाउट 3 राइट देयर एज वेल, इधर भी 69 आएगा, वो भी 76 प्लस जाएगा. वर्बल के अंदर माय रिकमेंडेशन इज अटेम्प्ट्स ज्यादा होते हैं. वर्बल के अंदर आई वुड ऑलवेज स्टेट दैट अटेम्प्ट शुड बी अराउंड 30 to 33. इस 30 to 33 में मे बी गेट अबाउट 25 राइट. बाकी जो 2-3 गेस करोगे शायद एक राइट हो जाए, 26 के आसपास राइट हो जाएगा. यू शुड एंड अप स्कोरिंग वेरी वेल एंड यू माइट, इफ द स्टार्टिंग इज गुड, यू कुड इवन एंड अप विद एन 85 or a 90 plus. In general, I always end up scoring the most in verbal, mainly because of this reason कि इसमें maximum attempts होते हैं जो serious होते हैं, and because of that, even if I get it at 75% accuracy, यहाँ पे accuracy बहुत ज्यादा हो जाती है, 25-26 राइट हो जाते हैं. बाकी दोनों में राइट करके with the guesses वो 22-23 से ज्यादा जाते नहीं है. So वो 22-23 generally converts to about 75-80 for sure, and वो जो 26-27 होगा वो guaranteed 85-90 होगा. So last year, because some of you all are asking, when I took the paper in verbal, I was very, very close to almost 100 marks, because that is what happens very seriously. So that would be my recommendation on the serious attempts that you should look at. Few last minute tips. Choose the order of attempting sections on your own. किसी की सुनने की जरूरत नहीं है, सजेशन आपने ले लिया, पर जो आपको कन्वीनियंट लगे उसके अकॉर्डिंगली करना. It's a 75-day window, so I hope you've chosen your slot of the exam very seriously. Maximum 3 attempts hai, you know, but only the first attempt counts. No penalty for wrongly marked questions, so please do not leave any question unanswered. Verbal reasoning might end up being the game changer in reasoning, like I have pointed out. So please focus on that. Navigation between sections nahi hai, navigation between questions bhi nahi hai. Okay, you have to attempt a question before moving on. Please keep that in mind. Revise fundamentals and focus on strengths. Like I stated, geometry is not needed. आया ही नहीं है last 1-2 साल से. But basics अगर अच्छे हैं, you should be able to do well in this paper. And finally, you can have a look at the sample mocks of the official guide. Take a couple of them. Please write the CL adaptive mocks. Not everybody gives adaptive. They state adaptive, but they don't give adaptive. We've given iterative adaptive mocks, which use exactly the same logic that GMAC uses, because that is what they use even when they look at the GMAT exam. So we've developed it this year. Go ahead, look at that. It will hopefully go ahead and help you. Okay, so that's basically it. Also, we have a series running on the YouTube channel. Please go ahead and catch it. Sessions happen almost every single day. Last lap to Nmat, you can watch it on YouTube. There are certain sessions which have already happened. Catch the video there, and upcoming sessions also, go ahead and catch them live. Any doubts, please go ahead and ask me. One last thing that I want you leave you all with is कि भैया कल we are going to have a session which is 30 days to CAT. GP and Sazil are going to be there. I will try to be there as well. I'm unsure, hence I've not put in my name, but GP and Sazil are going to be there. 8 p.m. session will be for an hour, 30 days to CAT. What are the last minute tips and tricks that you need to keep in mind? What should you be doing over the last 30 days? Study plan kya hona chahiye, mock plan kya hona chahiye, and everything. So do catch us for that. Okay. If you are interested in the non-cat classes, like I pointed out, snap zat nmat ke online classes have started. nmat ke काफी sessions हो गए हैं, so right time to join, because you can catch the video and do एक बार में सारे आप कुछ देख सकते हो. just 2-3 sessions बाकी है, उसके बाद अब snap होगा and zat भी होगा. This is the right time to go ahead and have a look at it. Any questions? I'm open to go ahead and answer. Aditi, okay. Sir, I'm terrified as I'm getting only 150, 160. Our CL nmat difficult than the actual Nmat paper. Like I pointed out, Aditi, I've already answered this. They are not more difficult. I have categorically stated that when you look at it from the perspective of 5, 6 mocks, 10 mocks, 8 mocks, jo hai is bar, there will be 2, 3 which will be slightly difficult, 2, 3 which will be easier, 2, 3 which are at the same level, because we don't know is bar ka level kya hoga. So the best part is जो adaptive वाले mocks है, जो आपके अभी section भी एक आ गया, zone भी आ गया, वहां जाओ वो लिखो. एक दो मॉक्स हो सकता है टफर हो, बट इफ कॉन्स्टेंटली 150 to 160 के बीच में है, देन द level that you will end up with will be 170, 180, nothing more than that. So you need to work hard, focus on the things that I've spoken about. Where can we practice stuff related to Nmat except mocks? I have Nmat on the 9th of November. Mocks is a good place. You can go ahead and have a look at the Nmat by GMAC official guide. That's the second place. And in case you need more practice, like I spoke about, Nmat K online classes is something that we have. You can have a look at that as well. Hopefully that is something that will hold you in good store, Rachit. Any other questions, guys? We will meet again tomorrow for the CAT paper. The last 30 days to CAT, what is it that we should go ahead and do? I hope this was helpful to all of you. I hope this helped. Catch me on the 6th of November, like I pointed out, next Thursday at 8:30 p.m., where we go ahead and decode Nmat 2025. I am writing the paper on my own. I will get deeper into it. I will carry a few more examples, kind of questions that have come, and various other things that you need to keep in your mind. Catch you again on the 6th of November, which is next Thursday at 8:30 p.m. and again tomorrow for 30 days to CAT at 8 p.m. And in case you've missed it, I'll repeat it. 16th November, CAT before CAT, the next CDC. Go ahead and ensure that you register for it if you haven't already. So how to do RC quickly, Bhavya? RC में मेरा recommendation रहता है, एक RC तो random guess होना चाहिए, दो को seriously करना है. उसमें करना क्या चाहिए? Read the questions first, then go to the RC and Nmat. Why? Because generally the questions का order is same as the order of the passages. So question पढ़ लोगे, फिर फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ पढ़ोगे, आंसर होगा, सेकंड पढ़ोगे, सेकंड पैराग्राफ आंसर होगा. जनरली ऐसा होता है. तो 2 आरसीज करो, उन 2 आरसीज को करने में 8 मिनट लगेंगे. थर्ड वाले आरसी को गेस मार दो. फर्स्ट 2 आरसीज अगर स्टार्टिंग में आ रहे वो तो कर लेना, ताकि वो 8 को कोई फाइट नहीं है. ठीक है. These Nmat classes frequency, they happen only on weekends. They are more or less done, as I stated. So it's a good time to enroll, because you'll be able to catch the recorded lessons of all of them, and you can do binge watching in 5 days. I think there are just about 3 or 4 sessions which are left to go. It will be over by this weekend. So you can just do almost binge watch, of all the sessions that have happened till now. Is weekend ke live attend kar lo, ek साथ पूरा आपका practice हो जाएगा, and next weekend done है. Okay. Then the Nmat session, the snap session start from the 8th as well, because snap and cat के बीच में there are only 6 days. अभी नहीं करोगे तो snap खाली 6 days between cat and snap नहीं हो पाएगा. So I think the right time to go ahead and look at cat, snap, Nmat, snap and zat. That's it from my end, guys. Good night. See you tomorrow for 30 days to cat, and see you on the 6th of November at 8:30 p.m. for the Nmat 2025 analysis. Bye-bye. Good night.